Hello and welcome to the podcast. This one, we're going to mainly focus on one. It's quite a biggie. It has to do with the landlord. So it's something super serious here. It's titled, I Don't Know What to Do About My Landlord. No, I didn't even read into this one at all. I'm going into it completely blind. So I'm going to make some little comments along the way. And let's go. This one's actually kind of a novel, I'm not going to lie. It's like 8 paragraphs. It's an essay. But let's get into it. So excuse me, I might take a drink while I'm recording. Let's do this. So we live in Canada in an apartment building for context. When we first moved in, we had a different landlord who eventually switched jobs and we got a new one. Ever since this woman has started, though, she's been doing nothing but causing trouble for us, and I'm really not sure what to do at this point. Weird. Old landlord doesn't start problems and the new one does? Kind of fucked, if you ask me. It started when we got a puppy in the winter. Our building allows pets, and most tenants here have a dog or two. Our puppy, unfortunately, had a lot of separation anxiety, probably a husky. And due to this would bark when we would leave sometimes, which isn't often since we work from home and only would leave to pick up groceries here and there for maybe 15 minutes at most. A lot of tenants' dogs bark quite often as well, and so we didn't worry too much about it while he was still a puppy because we were working on the separation anxiety with him, and lots of other tenants' dogs were barking a lot too, so we didn't think too much of it at the time. Gotta nip that shit in the bud like immediately. I had an upstairs neighbor whose dog barked for over 7 hours straight. One time as well. So honestly, I didn't think anything would come of it in the meantime while I tried to work on the separation anxiety with my puppy. I wouldn't either, dude. A guy's dog is barking for 7 hours? You gotta be fucking kidding me. I would murder him. Despite having no issues for a while, the landlord suddenly started to complain about the puppy barking. It started out friendly enough. She would ask us to try and stop it, and we told her we would try our best and get it under control ASAP. Then it became an everyday thing. Even days I was home all day, and I knew for a fact my dog had not been barking since I was quite literally here all day. She would say my dog was barking and that people were complaining. I kept assuring her I was home and that it must be another tenant's dog since I knew mine was not barking. She would become extremely angry and accuse me of lying. How are you gonna... Yeah, this landlord is off the cuff. My God. I would have. Anyway, this continued until one day I had an eviction notice on my door. I never raised my voice to her. I never got angry back with her. I just didn't understand why it escalated so quickly. Unfortunately, because of this, I had to either rehome my puppy or move out. We can't afford to move as we also have 2 toddlers to look after, and moving isn't an option for us at the moment. Money is tight. So we had to rehome our puppy. Fuck that landlord. Anyway. Dang, 2 toddlers too on top of it? Man, you're just piling it up. All that responsibility. After that, it still has been constant harassment from her, though. For example, other tenants have barbecues on their balconies, as well as myself. One day, I was outside barbecuing when she pulled up outside. She called my phone and immediately started to lose it on me for having one, stating that it is not allowed. I told her I was told by the previous landlord that I was allowed to have one and that you can see many other tenants have them on their balconies. She told me no one is allowed and that she would be putting a notice out to tell everyone to get rid of them and that I needed to get rid of mine immediately. Fast forward a month later, and I'm the only one who seems to have gotten rid of mine. Everyone else still has theirs, and nothing has been said to them. Dude, what is up with your tenant, man? Like, or your tenant, your landlord? Like, what is up? Like, I feel like they're targeting you for sure. I'm going to say they're racist. I'm just going to put it out like that. That person's probably racist. I don't know if what your race is, but I'm going to chalk it up to that. So since then, she has made me get rid of my mini dishwasher and accused me of replacing fuses, which I did not do. She then forced me to pay for new fuses, stating that the ones she was accusing me of putting in were a hazard. I'm going to air quotes this. Were a hazard and I was causing a huge risk. So I had to replace and pay for fuses that I did not put here to begin with. The landlord before her actually had put them there. God, this lady. Now fast forward to this morning. We had bought a small kiddie pool for our 2 toddlers on the balcony. I would like to add that we did get a new puppy recently who does not have any separation anxiety whatsoever and who has barked twice, maybe, in her entire life, and it was only outside and never in the building. Anyway, this morning the toddlers were in the pool for maybe 20 minutes and then we all came inside. The landlord calls, of course. Not long after this, she starts losing her mind, saying that our dog has been going to the bathroom on the balcony and that we have been washing it off with water. Oh my God, this lady. And that it's dripping into the downstairs neighbor's balcony. She then threatened another eviction notice. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what the law is up there in Canada, but you can't just be throwing eviction notices around like that. You have to have legit reason, or at least that's what it is in the United States for the most part. Now here's the thing. The only water that could have possibly went over the balcony would have to have been splashes from our toddlers in the pool, because our puppy does not go to the bathroom on the balcony unless it's on a pee pad. We never have to wash anything off since it's all on the pad that we throw into a garbage bag after. She also only goes to the bathroom on the balcony the last 4 days since my partner and I got COVID and have had to isolate. So we haven't been able to take her outside the building on the grass like we usually do, since we don't want to contaminate any doorknobs that others in the building will touch. Not to mention, there are other tenants who actually do have their dogs go to the bathroom on their balcony, as I've seen people leave dog poop on their balcony for days without cleaning it, and nothing has been said to them, which is incredibly gross. We tried explaining this to the landlord, but she didn't even allow a word, hardly. She just started accusing us of lying and saying that we, quote, have lied in the past, referring to the last time she accused us of lying when we did not, and threatened another eviction notice. I don't know what to do. It honestly seems she's had it out for us since she started working here. It's constant problems for her and from her and accusations. We want to take this to the landlord and tenant board, but are afraid that if we do this, she will make more trouble for us. Moving is not something we can afford right now, either at all. So what do we do? Well, god dang. Let me tell you, you're getting straight up harassed. 100%. This is a pure form of harassment, just constantly hitting you with like, I'll fucking give you an eviction notice, blah 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 blah, this and that. Like, dude, you're getting harassed. And she's saying that you did the fuse thing, your puppy was barking even though you were home all day. Like, you're straight up getting harassed here. Just wow. To me, there's a few avenues of approach here. You can bring it to the tenant and landlord board. You can kind of, it's an apartment complex, so I'm assuming she's just kind of hired on. I don't think she owns the apartment complex. So you could actually go over her head, maybe find out like what company runs all that. Sometimes it's corporate businesses, because that is a huge problem. She's for sure harassing you, hitting you with threats of eviction for the smallest things. I don't even think she can legally do anyway. Like, oh, they had a barbecue, so I evicted them. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. And you know, I don't know what you look like. Again, thank you Reddit for being so anonymous, but I don't know what you look like. I don't know what your whole family situation is, aside from the fact that it's like you and hubby or whatever, and your two toddlers, and then you get this puppy, right? I'm assuming the apartment's like a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom with a balcony. I would say it could be discrimination to an extent. Well worded, everything like that. I mean, like, it's just, really, I don't know. I'm gonna hit discrimination a little bit on that. Whether you might just be a different race than the landlord, and they don't like that. You might actually be the minority in the apartment complex, and they don't like that. I don't know. Another thing is it's like constant harassment. Oh, you got a barbecue? I'm gonna call and yell at you. Like, not talk to you, but yell at you. Oh, your dog's you're hosing your balcony off, blah, 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 when you've had your toddlers in a pool. I'm sure you can see the little mini pool from the balcony, from the floor, because let's be real, apartment balconies really aren't that big. You're going to see a kiddie pool. I mean, it just seems, in this case, it just seems like a freaking lawsuit to me. I feel like you can sue for this. It definitely seems like it's discrimination to some point. Definitely not professional, threatening eviction after eviction after eviction for no reason. That's probably a lawsuit too. It is 100% harassment. I can tell you that much. I can tell you that much for sure. It is 100% harassment. So what I would do in this situation is I would actually put a complaint in to maybe whoever's above her. I'm sure you could bring it up with the city or something like that. I don't know. I don't know the avenues of that, but you definitely need to say something to somebody, because that is not cool. It's not cool at all to harass specifically you. And maybe like talk to other tenants and find out if maybe she's harassing them too. But definitely possible lawsuit on your hands. So just harassment for days. Harassment for days, eviction notices without any warnings, anything like that. Again, I don't know the laws up there in Canada, but I know that you can't do that here in at least California. So, well, that'll do it for this one. That was a pretty lengthy one. I'm not a professional on Canadian law, so take what I say with kind of a grain of salt, but I did give my advice, and I highly advise protecting yourself and maybe bringing up the harassment to somebody. It doesn't have to be a tenant. It doesn't even have to be your landlord, but their boss, if they have one. Just make sure you speak to the right people, because she's obviously a problem. I hope you get it figured out. It looked like you posted this a long time ago. So, I mean, good luck. And, I mean, get your money right so you can get out of there at least. All right? Well, that'll do it for us for today. Be safe out there. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you for listening.